What's up guys, Max here, and we're talking about the latest two characters that were revealed for Street Fighter V, and we also got a lot of time to check them out during all the live streams, and it's CAMMY and Birdie. Now, these two characters are brand new to the roster in comparison to the two that have been there for a while, being Ryu and Chun-Li, as well as Bison and Nash, who we got to see quite a bit of. I do feel that CAMMY and Birdie are kind of hot right out of the oven, meaning that some of their mechanics aren't completely defined, and some stuff is a little crazy and kooky, Birdie especially, but they do look great, and right now in terms of character design, I think CAMMY is absolutely fantastic. They did a really good job with her overall muscle movement. When you see this stuff in person running at 60 frames, she is really damn cool looking, and plays kinda similar to Street Fighter 4. If I was to compare this version of CAMMY to any other version of CAMMY, I'd say it's most similar to Street Fighter 4 as well as the, in regards to the main Street Fighter series. And she has a lot of hit confirms off of lights. You can go from like a couple of light attacks into a crouching medium into heavy spiral arrow, and that's pretty dang good damage. And she's also got her V skill, which allows her to travel through fireballs. This is her spinning knuckle. They took it away as a special move, but if you're close enough, it indeed does switch directions if it passes through the opponent. It's a little bit of a nice mix-up. You can't get a follow-up for a combo or anything crazy like that. I'm pretty sure you can't V-trigger cancel the thing, but the other interesting thing about her is that her V-trigger sends her into a state where her specials are all modified. They do more damage, they do more hits, and they're cancelable. For example, you can do Spiral Arrow and cancel the Spiral Arrow if it hits into a Cannon Spike. And if this thing lands, it looks ridiculous. It flies through, it launches them into the air. It looks like a freaking Marvel vs. Capcom combo. CAMMY's pretty awesome. She's also got a lot of tricks in regards to the, I always forget what this thing is called. I think it's called the Hooligan. It's where she jumps up into a ball, into the air. It's essentially her Akuma Demon Flip, where she can convert her aerial state into like a sweep if you stay neutral, into a dive kick, or into a grab. And right now, there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens. Some of the dive kicks actually autocorrect if you go over the opponent right now. It looks nutty, especially if you're in the V-trigger. You can kind of mix up your opponent like crazy right now. And it's pretty kooky. I have a funny feeling that's going to get normalized fairly fast until the game comes out, but we'll find out. The nice thing about this right now is that we're just kind of completely speculating with what we're seeing with CAMMY still. Even though I did have time with her, we did see a lot of gameplay of her, this is all going to change dramatically, guys. So don't worry too much about anything you're seeing right now. We're just getting an idea of what CAMMY could potentially be like when she comes out later next year when Street Fighter V is released. But when the beta comes out, maybe you'll be able to do some of this crazy freaking stuff. Now, Birdie, on the other hand, is an absolute freaking monster. His jabs are insane at the moment, and he has a lot of really powerful and long-reaching normals. A lot of people are calling him the Ghost Rider of the game because he kind of is. The specials he has are way better than they were in the alpha games, because in all honesty, Birdie was really bad in all of the alpha games, and he was not a lot of fun to play. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why I was never too excited when I heard Birdie making it into a Street Fighter game again. Really, if there was one character I probably could have told you would never make an appearance again, I would have said Birdie, so I was absolutely shocked that he would be making an appearance over a lot of the other characters that people have possibly been waiting for. Especially with the consideration that this game might have only about 16 characters at launch. It's a little crazy, but let's talk about his gameplay. He does have this insane command grab, which almost moves full screen, is kind of slow, but kind of not at the same time because it's an anti-fireball move. The one thing you'll be noticing is that a lot of characters kind of counter fireballs in this game in one way or another. Whether or not it's Bison doing his V-skill to grab the fireball and soak it and repel it back, or Nash being able to turn it into, you know, essentially V-skill gauge, which really sucks. I wish they would change Nash's eventually. But at the same time, almost every character has an anti-fireball like attack or an anti-fireball strategy. And I really do feel like they're trying to change the way there was quote-unquote spamming in Street Fighter 4, how people would fill the screen with fireballs, and there's heavy emphasis on zoning. That's most likely going to change in this game, and this is the early example of what they're doing. It might be a little overpowered right now, but regardless, you can kind of see where they're going, and Birdie can definitely get around this stuff. He does insane damage at the moment, and he's got a ton of hit confirms into Super. The one thing you'll be seeing a ton in this game is people doing a couple of light attacks or a cross-up attack or something, a target combo, going into a special move and canceling it into super. This is a lot similar to the Street Fighter 3 series, where you can easily special cancel into super, and right now, since Birdie has ridiculous damage, that stuff goes right into it, and it does like 50%. The other thing he gets is, when he does his V skill, he randomly throws a banana on the ground or a can, and the can rolls forward and trips up the opponent as well as the banana, but stays stationary. And using these things has been a little crazy, because people have actually anticipated their opponent like falling into them, and then they do cross-ups and then they set you up, and it's just a nightmare. The other thing I would like to say is that I'm not a huge fan of Birdie's new design. I don't understand why they took all the weight that was up in his shoulders and his arms and kind of moved it to his gut. But either way, even though I don't like the way he looks, I will say the way he moves and the way he animates is probably one of the most gorgeous characters in a fighting game ever. I'll say, as an artist myself, when you start learning how to draw the human figure, you have the most fun with fat characters, because anybody that's fat, you have a lot more leeway in terms of how things look, and you can take a lot more of stuff in directions that you wouldn't normally be able to go with regular proportion characters. And I love drawing fat characters. They were easily some of the most fun I had when I was growing up as an illustrator, but I can see how these guys are loving it too. I understand how animation goes, and there are some beautiful things that happen with this character, idle animations, disgusting things, and that was kind of the theme of Birdie, is that he's disgusting. And they did a really good job. He is the essential of a gross character, and as much as some people might not like that, I do think it's awesome. It doesn't give me any personal reason to maybe want to play him, but he is a genuine scumbag, and maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but it's completely up to you. I would have liked to see another character, but they did a really good job with the character that I never would want to play, but man, I don't mind looking at him every once in a while, because he is freaking amazing to look at. Other than that, I'm fairly impressed with Cammy or Birdie. Gameplay-wise, I think they've changed enough. Birdie has changed drastically from previous iterations in the alpha games, and Cammy feels a little bit like Street Fighter 4 Cammy, but she's got all this other crazy stuff in regards to the V trigger and the V skill, how her hooligan stuff works. So I'm fairly confident Cammy's going to be a pretty popular character. She makes a good addition to the roster because her design is more resembling the Cannon Spike version of Cammy, which was that old Dreamcast brawler that was a practically an indie Capcom game way back in the day. So some good stuff overall, some negative things overall, but at the same time, I feel we're going to see a lot of things changing in regards to gameplay as soon as that beta is available in about a month. Let me know what you guys think about Cammy and Birdie in the comments below. I know you saw a lot of Birdie within all this Capcom stream footage that was available, but it's because he was easily the best character in the game right now, probably because he had the least amount of time in the oven in comparison to all the characters, but it worked because these guys were trying to win as hard as they could, and he was easily the best bet in the game right now. Thank you dudes very much for watching. I'll be doing a breakdown of the last character and the one character I find the most fun to play in the game right now, and that is Nash, and I'll be going over a couple of the things I found and a couple of the things that make him kind of fun to play rather than a traditional charge character. Thank you all very much for watching. That video will be up as soon as possible. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you next time.